Anyway.
Talking of which, we've got to talk about this dog theft, or dog napping, as it's often known. It's big business. New figures have revealed that it's on the increase. Almost 2,000 designer dogs have been stolen to order. That was just last year alone.
Now, this is like a bereavement for many owners, and some who tragically, someone who tragically knows all about that joins us now. Her name's Freya Woodhall. So her beloved sprocker, spaniel, Willow, Freya was stolen last September.
Yes.
Yeah? And beside Freya is pet detective Robert Kenny, who we have to report business is on the rise for you, Robert, in this field.
Absolutely. It's devastating for poor Freya here with her dog. Unfortunately, we get huge amounts of calls every week to our office with regard to stolen pets. And there's an increase this year by approximately 5% on last year. So,
and this is what they're calling designer dogs, Robert. These are kind of often these crossbreeds. So they're saying pugs and chihuahuas, Labradoodles.
Of which Willow was one, because Willow's what's called a sprocker, right?
Yeah, half spaniel, half cocker.
Cocker spaniel. OK, so the date is September 17th last year. What happened?
She was happily playing in the back garden. I thought it was a safe place. We live in a tiny hamlet in Shropshire. And I went out, came back, and she'd gone. No sign of her.
So I think most people's initial reaction would be, oh, no, she's gone through a hole in the hedge, she's got out of the garden, she'll be wandering around the village somewhere. What did you think when she realised she was missing?
I did think maybe she did get out of the garden, but it's so out of her character to not have come back.
So you obviously went looking, so you start going around the village, I presume. When did you start to panic and think, you know, I can't find her anywhere, nobody's even seen a trace of her?
Yeah, by 5 o'clock. She lives by her routine. 5 o'clock is her dinner time, and she wasn't back by then. So it was, you know, phone the police, phone the chip company, phone all the neighbours.
Microchip company. So she was microchipped.
Yep, she is microchipped.
And I suppose that search grows wider. So you've got local vets. How did you kind of increase your search then?
Yep, we do have her on the premium pet log, which notifies all pet professionals within a 30-mile radius, saying that the dog warden did get in contact with me because I started a campaign on social media just to start raising awareness within my friends and the local community.
And was there any sighting at all of her?
No sightings. We're surrounded by farms and woodlands, which is popular with dog walkers. They didn't see anybody.
So that makes you think that she was picked up and taken, probably in a car.
Yeah, definitely.
Which brings in you, Robert, and what you do. Your detective agency is called Happy Tales, and hopefully there'll be a happy ending to many of those things. But you're the only pet detective in the UK and Europe who's actually certified to do all of this. Are you busy? Is business up?
Yes, Eamonn. I trained back in 2006, 2007 in the United States, which I took in 5 modules that cover the recovery of missing pets, DNA forensics, and other modules like training search detection dogs. The demand for what I do is massive.
What's your success rate?
Well, we deal in approximately 250 calls a week between missing cats and stolen dogs. I say both of those because there are very few dogs now that are actually lost dogs. So that is how high stolen cases are becoming.
Why is that, my friend? Tell us the motivation behind all of this and the sort of person who is behind these thefts.
OK, well, Freya's situation is clear to me that this was pretty opportunist. I don't think her dog was stolen to order at all. Rural cases like hers would be normally somebody driving through in a van, possibly more than one person. They pick up 4 or 5 dogs within maybe an hour, and they decide which is worth keeping. And if they don't want to keep one, they'll dump it out the back, approximately 2 or 3 miles away.
But what are they doing with it? Are they selling these dogs on?
Yes, a lot of these dogs are ending up outside of the UK. So we've recovered a number of dogs that have been stolen in the UK that have ended up in the Czech Republic, Austria and the Republic of Ireland. So,
but do they not have to have dog passports to travel? I mean, someone like Freya, would she be able to go on a website and perhaps see Willow being advertised there?
well, not really, because the situation is with regard to stolen dogs is they very rarely put up a picture of the real dog. They will put up a picture of a similar animal and arrange to meet you away from the particular area where they're not getting covered on CCTV, etc.
Yeah.
But with regard to Freya's situation, I do believe that, you know, because it was a rural theft, that the likelihood is that her dog is probably still within the UK.
Freya, you see, what does it mean to you? We're sitting talking here. Maybe to someone who's not a dog owner, they think, we'll just get another one. What does Willow mean to you and your family?
She's part of the family. She's definitely part of the family. And we're all heartbroken, absolutely devastated. And we've learnt the hard way. And it wasn't until she went missing that I knew how rife pet theft was. But little is known, you know, it's not publicised at all, really. And more needs to be done.
So what would you say to people? This is a wake-up call for a lot of people when we look at these figures and we realise, you know, someone like Robert is working so hard and has so much business. What would you say to someone who is particularly attached to their animal?
Just be wary. You know, you wouldn't leave your child outside in the pram or the pushchair outside a shop when you went to pop in. Don't do it with your dog. Just keep eyes on them, you know, all the time if you can.
And even when you think they're safe in your own back garden, where they've always been safe and played, I suppose now you would be reluctant. Because do you have another dog?
We do. We have a Romanian rescue puppy.
And how is it, he or she?
It's a she.
And how has she been since Willow went
She
missing?
was all over the place, you know, just, yeah. She had a big change, obviously, coming over from Romania, but then, you know, being attached to Willow and then Willow's suddenly not there. It's, yeah, it's been...
Well, listen, maybe somebody today, and we've shown pictures of Willow there, we'll show another picture of her. She's an absolutely beautiful dog, and if you
Where did she go missing? What part of the country?
Shropshire, just outside Much Wenlock.
OK. Robert, from your point of view, what advice do you have for pet owners? What are the do's and don'ts, and what should people do if they're worried that their pet has been stolen?
Sure. Well, firstly, I mean, it's nearly impossible to be bulletproof to have your animal stolen. If somebody wants to rob a pet, they'll break into a house. So we would get about 300 calls a year with regard to burglaries where nothing at all was taken apart from the dog.
Gosh.
So if somebody wants to set out to get a dog, they're going to get it. But to try and make it a bit more difficult for them, obviously, do not go out, leave them in a garden. At least 50% of all cases of stolen dogs are taken from the person's property, their garden. Certainly don't leave them in cars. Cars, we've had a number of calls for people who have lost their more than one dog been stolen from cars.
Do they ever hold these dogs for ransom? As is, would they get in touch with the owner and say, pay us?
I think it's a great question. It's the problem we have, I think, at the moment is that people who have pets stolen, I mean, they don't really realise that it's not a case of somebody offering $5,000 to get their animal back or ransoming or whatever. I think a lot of it's got to do with a lot of the animals that are actually stolen in the UK are no longer in the UK, and I've recovered so many outside of the country as well as in here, but
well, as you said, you think Willow might still be in the country. We hope she is, and we hope, but showing her pictures today, I know it's been very hard for you to talk about Freya. Information that if you think might be of interest to help find Freya, then please do get in touch through the This Morning website.
Yeah, we've got Freya. It's Willow we want.
Willow, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Right.